Each year around the Halloween season, we gather our large extended family group of around 20 at my parents' house for an evening of kid-friendly foods and pumpkin carving. This year we did hot dogs and macaroni and cheese and several other side dishes. I seem to be the go-to person for providing the vegetable tray. You make one fancy veggie tray and then you are known as the veggie tray guy at or family gatherings. Our group of kids do like to eat fresh vegetables, so it is great to see them dig in. Long ago, I would just purchase basic store-prepared veggie trays, but you get so little in a tray and so little variety. You might get 4 different items and some generic off-flavored dip that has been in transit and store shelf for a week or more. There have been several occasions that they looked okay when purchased, but once you open them up, sometimes they can be slimy or have a bad smell, or they contain some really large pieces that should be cut up in better bite-sized pieces. After all, people just eat veggies for the dip anyway, so it is better to have smaller pieces as to avoid double dipping. So I started making my own trays so I can include a larger variety of vegetables and some better dips. It is surprisingly not much cheaper than a pre-packaged veggie tray, but I think the quality is much better and fresher. And maybe I am just slow, but it can take me a couple of hours putting it all together, not including the grocery shopping. My early custom veggie trays were mainly just a large tray with maybe 6 or 7 items in divided trays and a homemade dill dip. I think it was Thanksgiving several years ago that I was looking for some more creative ideas and found some examples of a turkey-themed veggie tray, so I tried my own spin on it and ended up being a big hit, especially with the kids. From then on, the family is expecting a themed veggie tray. I may have disappointed them a few times as I just didn't have the time, so I just had to put a standard tray together, but I still add lots of variety. I have taken some pictures of my creations over the years, but this is my first attempt to create a video of my process. I will clip out some boring sections or speed up some steps, so this does not turn into a 2-hour video. But I hope it helps inspire you to try your own custom veggie tray. As it is some of the healthiest foods and no cooking, and other than dips that keep cool, the veggies can sit out all meal and the party after without risking spoilage. So people often walk by grazing for a quick snack. So now, let's get to it.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me on my building process for a fun-themed veggie tray for your next party or get-together. I don't have any culinary training or never worked in a restaurant, but I do what works for me, so please don't critique my cutting skills too harshly. But I welcome your comments, suggestions, and share any of your own experiences and creations. Please also like and subscribe to encourage me to provide similar future content. This episode will be a pumpkin-themed tray for Halloween. So, to start things off, I grab a large, clean cutting board and a general-use knife. I use a cheap, never-dull, fine serrated knife. Surprisingly, it has been my go-to knife for 30 years and still works great, as long as you don't cut tin cans like they do in the infomercials. Now, I collect all the items I want to add to my tray so I know what I am working with. I may review some existing designs ahead of time to get some ideas on the overall look of the tray, but I will often substitute or adjust some items depending on availability and what feels right at that moment. But pretty much the staples of my trays have several common items like baby carrots, celery, cherry tomatoes, broccoli, cucumbers, and black olives. And I will typically also include cauliflower, radishes, and baby corn, assuming I find them when I'm doing my shopping at the last moment. I'm not including them in today's tray, but I sometimes add one or more of the following items to add variety to the tray. Items like turnip, zucchini, dill pickles, green olives, artichoke hearts, green onions, pepperoncini peppers, and sometimes sneak in beef sticks and cheese cut in half-inch pieces. The Thanksgiving trays will often include most, if not everything, as it is a day of feast. Oh, I almost forgot to set out the black olives and baby corn, but now I have it all. So now, after giving the plastic tray a quick rinse, I position the tray to prepare for assembly, so I can estimate sizes and layout as I go. You can find these large trays at some of the large warehouse stores or online, but I often collect used ones that are left over from my office meetings or events, as people often throw them out. Yep, I'm that guy. This is my first time trying to capture this on camera, so I have to think carefully about the placing and what is visible, and working in a much smaller footprint than I normally do. Now I grab a bag of baby carrots to start. They cost a little more than using whole carrots, but well worth it as they are a great size and ready to serve as is. I do give them a quick rinse and look over to make sure they look, smell, and taste great. Oh yeah, you should always be taste testing, or at least eat the cutoff parts or remnants of what you're going to serve, as you don't want surprises later or see anyone have a bad experience. Also, it is just one less meal I have to prepare for myself. Now, I put some veggies to the tray to help me get the idea of the size of the tray and the vegetables, and helps me picture the layout a bit more. So in this tray, the pumpkin face will be the primary focus, and that will be mainly designed around the usage of our baby carrots. So I just add a few to the tray to estimate my spacing needs. And next, I'm going to prepare the broccoli, as I can use this to represent some grass the pumpkin will sit on, and use some to create the stem for the pumpkin. I give it a good rinse and use the sprayer to help inject the water through the broccoli flowers and pull off some of the leafy parts, as they will just be in the way. My first cuts are to remove the main stem, as that is too tough to add for raw eating, but you can set aside and peel and cook them as a side dish, stir fry, or use them in soups, or freeze them to use for something later. I do like to get whole broccoli crowns rather than pre-cut broccoli, as I typically don't see great-looking pre-cut broccoli at the store. I think that is more meant for cooking, so the quality is not the best for raw use. When I cut broccoli, I mainly cut the stems at the base of the broccoli clumps, and then pull the flower areas apart, as it makes a more natural-looking piece rather than seeing a lot of cut edges, but whatever works best for you. Although the stems are healthy for you, most people don't like too much stem, as they can be a bit tough, but you want just enough to act as a handle when eating. I also cut the pieces a bit smaller than stores do, as I want good-sized pieces for kids to dip once and eat, rather than keep dipping the same piece multiple times, and that seems to work well. I will cut what I think I will need and then set the extras off to the side in case I need to use more later. Then I can start laying out the broccoli in the areas I am planning. I don't need to add it all now, but it's just enough to start seeing the plan. and set the extras aside to add depth and fill gaps later. And then give the cutting board and knife a quick rinse to keep a clean working area. Now we are moving on to cauliflower. I will wash, trim, and cut the cauliflower similar to the broccoli so we can speed this process up a bit. So sit back and be wowed by my samurai-like knife moves. Feel free to fast forward a bit if you can't handle all of the excitement. Now that the cauliflower is all cut up to a good bite size, we will add it to the tray. I did not have an official plan for it, but I think I will use it to represent the sky or clouds at the top on both sides of the pumpkin stem. That looks good to me. And again, I set any extras off to the side and give the cutting board and knife a quick rinse. Next, it is time to work on the radishes. You can get the radishes still in their leafy bundles, but I like the packaged radishes as they are mostly trimmed up already. For the leafy bundles, after removing all the leafy trimmings, you will have similar weight of radishes, but a little less work for the trimmed packaged radishes. Also, I find that the packaged radishes are a little more uniform in size compared to the leafy bundles can be very random in size. I will start out by looking through the packaged radishes and selecting about 5 or 6 large and have a good shape for my project. For this project, I want them to be as round as possible. Then I will give them a wash as sometimes they still have dirt on them. And then I want to grab a smaller paring knife as I am going to do some fine knife work on these guys. I will first cut off both ends to freshen up the existing cut and cut off any extended root still intact. Sometimes I will cut radishes up to add as an item to the veggie tray, but many people don't like the spiciness of radishes, but I do, so I keep most of them for myself later snacking. But they are useful in adding some decorations to your veggie tray. For most of my veggie trays, I typically make flowers out of them. They are not perfect, but they are easier than most people think by making thin slices around the radish, but not cutting all the way through, and then soak it in some cold water for about an hour, and they will swell up a bit, and the slices will spread out to look like flower petals. But for today's tray, flowers are not going to work for Halloween theme, but bloodshot eyeballs do. I will then slice, or more like shave, just some of the red outer layer so it will show mostly white with streaks of red in random areas. Not like me in this video, but take your time to make sure you don't cut too deeply, but deep enough to show the contrast and random pattern of the white with red streaks. So, my camera glitched out about here, so sorry about that, but here are some photos I was able to capture some of the process and show the result. Once done with all the trimming, I then give them a quick rinse and then set them aside. And then clean the cutting board and knives again. The radishes can leave red coloring on the cutting board, so you will want to clean that well so it does not stain. Next up is the cherry tomatoes. These seem to be a favorite for everyone. They can be one of the more pricier items on the veggie tray, but well worth it. I will do a quick visual inspection of the contents and give them a good rinse. These are great to add to a veggie tray because there is no prep involved. Just look them over well and have a taste, as a bad tomato can ruin the experience. I will set them aside for now as I'm not sure where to use them yet. Now I will open, drain, and give quick rinse to a can of medium black olives. This is another favorite on the veggie tray. I have to keep a backup can so I can restock as they go missing pretty quickly. The kids add 1 to each finger, so they seem to go 10 at a time. Then I do the same for a can of baby corn. I prefer the larger whole spears and just cut them in half, but they seem to be harder to find, so I typically find the cut pieces. The cuts are a bit on a small side, but still work. I will set the cans of olives and baby corn off to the side for now. Now it is time to work on the cucumbers. Since I leave part of the skin, I peel the labels off and give them a quick wash. The peel is the healthiest part but gives a slightly bitter taste, so I compromise and make them a little fancier by using a peeler and slice strips of peel off. I will set one of the cucumbers off to the side for now, but I will slice the other cucumber into about 1/4 inch thick slices. Then I will move the cut cucumber to the tray. I will just pick one edge of the tray and fan out the slices evenly. The veggie tray is starting to take shape. I will massage and reshape the pile of carrots into a pumpkin face, shaping the eyes into triangles and fill them with black olives. Well, that did not work great, so let's try that again. That looks better. Now I will make space for the mouth. For the mouth, I am going to use the second cucumber. I don't have an official idea, so I am making it up as I go. Cutting it in half and placing the two sides back to back seems like it adds some dimension for rows of teeth. I trim the ends to slim the edges of the mouth. To minimize the number of small pieces falling apart for the teeth, I think I will just add some V-cuts to represent some teeth on the ends. but make thick slices in the center area of the cucumber so the mouth can flex into a smile. Now I carefully move the cucumber mouth to the tray and form it into shape. I use the carrots to help support it in place. I decided to use one of my eyeball radishes for the nose. I will now work on the celery. I prefer to go with the packages of celery sticks as they are already cleaned, trimmed, and similar in size, so it makes working with them much easier, but they do cost about double compared to full celery stalks. I still give them a good wash. Oops, I forgot to clean up after the cucumber carving, but I will save those as they are good eats. Then I cut off the ends of the celery to give them a refreshed look. Then I will slice them logways in halves or thirds to make the sticks thinner. And then I will cut them in thirds to make them a better bite size. I will then place them on the remaining open side of the tray. Time to clean my board and knife again. Now I need to add my remaining items to the tray, but it does not look like there is much room left, but I will squeeze them in. So now, the tomatoes. And then there is just enough space to add the baby corn pieces. Now I will add some of the extra vegetables to fill in some holes and add some depth to the veggie tray. I will then add the remaining radish eyeballs. Well, they don't really look like eyeballs quite yet. They need some pupils. So some green olives stuffed with pimento should do the trick. I just need a few, and I will cut them in about 1/8 inch slices to include the pimento in the center, and then place a single slice on top of each eyeball. So now I'm pretty much done. I'm doing a bit of cleanup, including the board and knife again, and putting away my extra vegetables and wiping everything down, as I have one more item to add to this Halloween-themed veggie tray. Yep, I got some gummy worms. Well, actually, twin snakes, since the store I was at did not actually have gummy worms. These snakes were twin, so two were stuck together. I'm not sure why. It seems like an issue at the factory and they just decided to stick with it. Pun intended. But I sliced the snakes apart to get the worm look I was going for. Then I placed them in different configurations around the vegetables. Voila! We now have a pumpkin-themed veggie tray for our Halloween celebration. This tray comes with a nice lid so I can transport it and store it in the refrigerator until we are ready to set up. But before I pack this thing up, I need to give it a test run. I planned 2 different dips for today's veggie tray, so I need 2 bowls. The first dip is a homemade dill dip. It is very easy to make, and I will leave a recipe in the description below. The second dip is a roasted red pepper hummus. I often make my own hummus, but it takes extra time and a bit messy, and I can never get it as smooth as the store-bought hummus. And if you get it at a grocery warehouse, it's almost cheaper than me making it myself. Now I need to test it, and I will give it a passing grade. Well, I enjoyed sharing this process with you, and hopefully you found it entertaining and gives you the basics and encouragement to try your own themed veggie tray. Creating this video took much longer than creating the veggie tray, but it does not taste as well. I hope to have the time and energy to try this again with another veggie tray, so please leave comments of encouragement and let me know what themed veggie tray I should try next. Once we clean up after dinner, we prepare the tables for the main event of pumpkin carving for all the kiddos, about 14 of them this year, and the adults step in when the little ones give up. Here are this year's creations. I cropped out the family from the photo to protect the artistically challenged, but it is amazing to see how their creations have improved over the years. Well, that is it for now, so I will see you next time. Take care.
Pumpkin patch dance round and round, spin like the leaves as they fall to the ground. Jump, twirl, let's have a blast. In the magic of the pumpkins, we'll move so fast. The pumpkins glow with a golden light. Dancing together feels just right. Witches and ghosts join in too. It's It's a party for me and you. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Move to the rhythm, feel the beat. In this patch we're free to play. Let's dance, let's laugh, come what may. Pumpkin patch dance, round and round. Spin like the leaves as they fall to the ground. Jump, twirl, let's have a blast. In the magic of the pumpkins we'll move so fast. Jump like a scarecrow, wave like a tree. In the pumpkin patch we dance so free. Under the stars, the moon shining bright. Let's keep dancing all through the night. Pumpkin patch dance, round and round. Spin like the leaves as they fall to the ground. Jump, twirl, let's have a blast. In the magic of the pumpkins we'll move so fast. So dance with the pumpkins, big and small. It's a party for one and all. Pumpkin patch will always stay, dancing till the end of day. In the pumpkin patch